Hey everybody, welcome back to Tackle on My Mind. What's on my mind today? Well, tackle season, the Toledo Area Kayak Anglers League is about wrapped up its regular season. We have one more event, August 21st, at the Upper Sandusky Reservoirs. There's 2 reservoirs you can choose from there, so you choose your pick. It's an evening tournament, lines in at 5, lines in at 9. Particularly kind of nice. One of them's a really good reservoir, the other one has a few bass in it. Last year's tournament was about this time. We didn't take any limits, but we had 3 guys. I think we had 8 anglers total about. 3 of those guys all caught over 20-inch bass, probably anywhere in that 4 to 6 pound range. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And just kind of wrapping up our season that way. Right now I'm currently sitting in 3rd place. So I'm good. I've qualified for our tackle box, which is our season-ending championship. But our top 4 has a couple other things that go with it. If I can hang on to that spot, points from tackle box also count. So I got to do pretty well in my last 2 tournaments, at least to keep in that position. So what I thought I'd do for this video is kind of put together my setups and what kind of stuff I think I'll be throwing at this last tournament anyway, and you know, really anytime in August, and as we head into fall, be some changes in them, but overall these baits will work well then too. And then kind of looking at history and maybe a little superstitious. Last time I did a video like this before a tournament, I ended up winning that tournament. So maybe this will help me in that too, and you know, we'll see what happens there. So I'm going to start out. No particular order. These are just things I'm going to have tied on. Remember, we're fishing out of a kayak. We're kind of limited to amount of rods we can have. I can get about 8 onto my kayak in my kayak crate pretty comfortably, accessible and stuff like that, where I'll store all of those and keep them on my way when I'm not using them. 8 sometimes is probably even too much because I sometimes use about 1 of them, maybe 2. And I just got different things tied up on all of them. So this isn't, you know, your top 4. This is what I'm going to go into this tournament with, and what I fish a lot of places this time of year in. I'm going to start out with, I got a buzzbait tied on. This is that Dirty Jigs Scott Canterbury Pro Buzz. You can see it's got a nice, it's unskirted. Sorry, I'm losing all my rods over here. They're tipping over on me. Notice that's not a skirted buzz bait, getting it all tangled up here. It's got that nice keeper on there. So I like to throw a toad on there. One of my favorites is a Hite Fat Impact swim bait, something in a sun gill color, kind of let the fish dictate. If the water's really clear and I see some bait fish, I'll throw maybe a baby bass color, something in a pro shad color, something like that. But I really like those paddle tail swim baits. I can also throw a toad on there. But I got some kind of top water, so that's the one I'm going to have tied on to start with. I got that on my Dobyns Kaden Series 744. That's a 7'4" medium heavy fast action rod. Really like that rod for this. That length gives me some good bombing castability. And I got that 13 Fishing Inception reel on here. This is a high speed 8-1-to-1 reel. I like that for top water. Kind of side note for that. If the buzzbait isn't working, there's a few other top baits. I just want to throw a toad, I can throw it on here. If I want to get in some heavy cover, some heavy grass, some matted grass and stuff like that, I can throw a frog, hollow body frog on this. That's a pretty versatile setup there. Just got to change the lure around. So that's going to be one of my setups. Another one I'm going to have a Speed Worm tied on. The one I'm probably going to have tied on right away is that Zoom Speed Worm, the Mag Speed Worm, the UV with that cut tail in there, in a Junebug color. I really like that color this time of year. I'm going to simply hook that. I got an EWG hook here, extra wide gap. I am weighting that. I don't peg it. I know a lot of guys peg them. I do not. I went down, I've used a 1/4 ounce or an 1/8 ounce in last. I got a 1/16 ounce bullet weight on there, tungsten weight on there. I just Texas rigged that. I like to throw that in some heavy cover, you know, weed lines, grass lines, stuff like that. And, you know, I can back that up too. I can use that as a top water. I just got to pop that bullet weight off of there. And that Speed Worm works really good as another top water bait too. Caught some nice fish on that already with Speed Worm. A bait I like to throw around, I like some type of Texas rig creature bait. Other than but instead of Texan rigging, your traditional bullet weight style, I got one of that core tackle Ozark rig. I really like these. That weight is all the way down the shaft or your hook, as you can see. What I like about that is, it seems to me I contact with the bait a little bit more. I don't have that bullet weight. And also, when you're throwing a bullet weight, your bait is going down like that. This core tackle Ozark rig, they glide a little bit more. I'll probably put some kind of creature bait on there. I like to throw that striking rage crawler on there, rage craw. Again, maybe a Junebug color, green pumpkin works pretty good for that. Back up a little bit here. I'll give you a little bit more of that setup. Sorry I didn't give you that. That 13 fishing, I got that on 50-pound braid. My buzz bait, other top waters. I also have this on a 50-pound braid. This is where I'm going to be throwing that Speed Worm on. This is another Dobyns Kaden series. This is 713. A little softer than that other one. It's 7 foot, but it's also a medium heavy fast action. I got that paired up with my Ardent Summit Falcon. Also a high speed reel. Got that also on 50-pound braid. That Ozark rig, I got that up on my tried and true. This is the first bait cast rod I ever bought. This is an Garcia BlackMaxx. 7 foot medium heavy, paired up with a Ardent Elite 7:1 gear ratio, Ardent Apex Elite. I have that on 20-pound copolymer. Moving down the line. Trying not to drop too much stuff. Trying to keep it close where I can reach it here. Another core tackle product. This is their swim jig. This is kind of their bluegill colored swim jig. It's a 1/4 ounce. That, different types of trailers. Currently have that hooked on it's their Reaction Innovations Little Dipper, and this is their sprayed grass color. I really like that. It's a boot tail trailer, but a paddle tail trailer. But it's a little stiffer than the Hite, so it doesn't get a lot of wobble. It just gets a little bit, and it really helps that skirt on there, enhance that movement on there. Pulled in a few fish already with that this year. I'm not going to fish hardly any place in Northwest Ohio without a chatterbait tied on. This is your jackhammer 3/8 ounce Hite Delight. Got that paired up with my new Ardent Vertex Contender. This reel is butter smooth. About a 7:1 gear ratio on that. Also, I believe, I don't see it on here right in front of my eyes, but I know it's about that. Super smooth reel. This was also on another Dobyns Kaden series. This is a 735 crankbait rod. I like throwing those chatterbaits on the crankbait rods. Gonna have that paired up with one of my favorite trailers, the Hog Farmer Spunk Shad. This is natural gill, and this is their 4.5 inch natural gill color. I can always change that around too, but that combination always doesn't seem like it works well together, but trust me, it does. Moving on and down from there, bait I discovered and I actually used in that tournament I won earlier this year. Great, again, around the grass on edges, and pockets and stuff like that. Total different action than a few other things. And this is that Strike King Hybrid Hunter, and this is in that Clearwater Minnow color. I see they came out with some new colors. If I get them for the tournament, I might try a couple of those. Love to throw this in and around the grass also, which the reservoir I'll be fishing does have some grass, also has some laydown and stuff like that. This really comes through that pretty nicely. This is on a Dobyns Fury series. This is their 705 crankbait. It's a 7 foot crankbait model, medium heavy moderate action. Got that paired up with an Apex tournament. Got that on 15-pound copolymer. A new bait to me, it's been around forever, everyone uses it. I just started using it about in the last month, and I'm already catching fish, and I can see why people love it, and that's the Zoom Super Fluke. This is in the sun gill color. I paired that on my spinning rod. I know a lot of guys will put it on a bait caster. I get a little better casting distance, I think, for myself. With that lighter lure, I can get a lot of action on it, get that thing dancing around, stuff like that, and I've hauled in some nice bass already. Just in the last month that I've used that. That is on my Dobyns Fury series again. This is my spinning rod. It's a medium fast action with a Shimano Nasi, or yeah, Shimano, sorry, yes, they're Nasi reel. Got that with 10-pound braid to a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. And then my last little setup, and this is more based on history, and I just kind of had to do it. Last year at this tournament at Upper Sandusky Reservoir, I managed over 20-inch bass again, and that was my biggest for the year, and did it on missile baits, quiver worm, and Junebug Texas rig. I got a 16th ounce bullet weight on there. Just went with that combination because it caught me a really nice fish last year. If I want to slow down a little bit, do some finesse, that's what I'm going to use. I got that put on, this is my Cashin medium fast action rod. New reel is the Shimano Nexave. Again, I got that 10-pound braid with an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. So that is going to be the setup to start with. Now, obviously I can change those out if something's not working, if I'm having a hard time finding fish all around. A lot of times, you just got to let the conditions dictate what's happening, what the water's like, what are the fish biting on. If I, hit something early, then you kind of hope to stick to that pattern. Got some good ideas. I fished this reservoir quite a few times. I think I got a good idea going in. So, leave a comment which one you think is going to take home that win this time. Keep me in that top 4 for the end of the year, and maybe put a little extra cash in my pocket. So that's what we're going to do going into this last regular season tournament. Thank you for joining me.